If she laughs at your jokes, leans in when you talk, remembers tiny details, and finds reasons to reach out, she's not just being nice. She's drawn to your energy. Attraction speaks through actions, not words. Pay attention to what's unsaid, because that's where her true feelings are revealed. When a woman is genuinely attracted to you, one of the most overlooked yet powerful signs is her subtle effort to initiate communication. She might not make a bold declaration or confess her feelings outright, but if you pay close attention, her actions will speak louder than words. Women often prefer to communicate interest in ways that feel natural and non-confrontational, especially when they're still figuring out how you feel in return. So instead of a direct, "I like you," you may notice she consistently finds little reasons to talk to you, stay connected, or be part of your day. She might text you seemingly random things, a funny meme, a song she heard that reminded her of something you said, or even just a, "Hey, how's your day going?" It might seem casual, but there's intention behind it. She's not just being polite or friendly, she's creating and maintaining a bridge between the two of you. She wants to keep the conversation alive, and more importantly, she wants to stay on your mind. It's her way of stepping into your world without being too forward. You might also notice that she initiates conversations in person with subtle cues. She'll ask you about your weekend plans, how work is going, or even follow up on something you mentioned days ago. That kind of attentiveness doesn't come from someone who's indifferent. It's a reflection of interest. If she didn't care, she wouldn't remember those little details, let alone circle back to them in conversation. Women who are attracted to someone will often look for any excuse to reach out. Maybe she's asking for your opinion on something she clearly already knows the answer to, or she's suddenly curious about something you're into, even if it's not really her thing. It's not about the topic, it's about the connection. The topic is just a doorway. The real intention is to open communication and get a feel for your vibe, your energy, your attention. Even when she's busy, she makes time for you. That's another major sign. You'll notice she doesn't leave your messages hanging for too long, and if she does, she'll offer a reason or an apology. This shows you matter to her. She's mindful of how you might feel and doesn't want to appear uninterested. She values the connection and wants to nurture it, even if it's just through brief messages or light banter. Another thing you'll see is how she reacts when communication starts to dip. If she notices you're not texting as often or that the energy has changed, she'll be the one to reel it back in. It might not be dramatic, but you'll sense that she's trying to re-engage, to bring things back to where they were. That's not something a woman does unless she feels a strong pull toward you. She wants the momentum to continue. She doesn't want the vibe between you to fade. Some women use social media as a form of subtle communication too. She might respond to your stories, comment on your posts, or even post things she thinks you'll notice or find relatable. It's a way of staying in your orbit and making sure she's in yours too. And while these actions may seem casual or innocent, they're actually calculated in the sweetest way. She wants to be visible. She wants you to think of her. It's also worth noting that the way she communicates with you might differ from how she interacts with others. If you observe that her tone softens, her replies are quicker, or her words are more thoughtful when she talks to you, there's a reason for that. She's not just chatting with anyone. She's investing emotional energy, even if it doesn't look like it on the surface. The extra thought she puts into her messages or the effort she makes to keep the conversation interesting, that's attraction working behind the scenes. Sometimes, the most subtle signs are the loudest, but only to those who know what to look for. When a woman initiates communication, even in the simplest ways, it's rarely accidental. It's her way of drawing closer without risking too much. She wants you to notice, but she also wants to keep her heart safe. So she'll test the waters with gentle ripples, hoping you'll send a wave back. Recognizing this sign requires awareness and sensitivity. You don't need to overanalyze every message or read into every emoji, But if she's consistently initiating contact, showing up in your inbox, or circling back to you in conversation, understand this. You're on her mind more than she's letting on. Laughter is one of the most natural, unfiltered reactions we have as humans. It reveals our comfort, our joy, and often our attraction. When a woman laughs more around you, even when your jokes aren't particularly groundbreaking, it's rarely just about the humor. It's about how you make her feel. When she's laughing freely and often, it means she feels at ease, connected, and emotionally safe in your presence. And that's no small thing. Women are intuitive. They don't just laugh to be polite, especially not repeatedly. Sure, a one-time chuckle at a weak joke could be a gesture of kindness. But if it becomes a pattern, if you notice her cracking up at the things you say more than others do, it's a strong sign that she's genuinely enjoying you. Your personality, your energy, the way you see the world, it all lights something up inside her, and laughter is how it spills out. There's also something magnetic about someone who can make you laugh. Women are drawn to men who bring lightness to their lives. It doesn't mean you need to be a stand-up comedian. It's not about punchlines or rehearsed stories. It's about the unique way you connect with her. Maybe it's your quirky observations, your silly impressions, or the way you tease her in a fun, playful way. If she finds herself laughing more around you than she does with others, it says something deep. She likes being around you. You lift her mood just by being yourself. What's important to understand is that laughter is linked to vulnerability. People laugh most when they feel safe. So when a woman is laughing freely around you, her guard is coming down. She's allowing herself to be present, to enjoy the moment without overthinking or putting up emotional walls. That kind of comfort isn't accidental. It's a sign that she's not only attracted to you, but that she also feels emotionally aligned with you. Sometimes her laughter will be big and obvious, throwing her head back, losing her composure, barely able to finish her sentence. Other times, it'll be soft and subtle, a quiet giggle, a shy smile, a playful eye roll that hides a grin. These moments, no matter how small, are signs. She's not just reacting to your words, she's reacting to you. She enjoys your presence, your timing, your delivery, your vibe. And it's not just about what makes her laugh. It's also about how quickly she laughs around you. If she finds herself laughing almost as soon as the two of you are together, that's a powerful indication that she associates you with fun, lightness, and happiness. These emotional associations are what build deep connections. People remember how you make them feel, and if her memory of you is filled with laughter, that's something meaningful. What's even more revealing is when you notice her laughing even before you get to the punchline, or laughing while trying to hold it back, just because she's anticipating that you're going to be funny. That level of chemistry doesn't come from nowhere. It's attraction mixed with emotional rhythm. She's in tune with you, waiting for your next move, enjoying the interaction so much that her body responds even before her brain fully processes the joke. Watch her eyes when she laughs. A woman who's genuinely attracted to you won't just laugh with her mouth. She'll laugh with her eyes, her body, her whole energy. There's a kind of sparkle, a warmth that radiates from someone who's emotionally engaged. If her body language is relaxed, if she leans in when she laughs, or if she touches her face or hair while laughing, it's all tied to attraction. These nonverbal cues don't lie. And remember, laughter often creates shared memories. If she's quoting your jokes days later, reminding you of something funny you said, or using your humor as a reference point in future conversations, that means she's holding on to those moments. She's replaying them. She's attaching positive emotions to you and your time together. That's the foundation of a deeper emotional bond. So, when a woman laughs more around you, don't just see it as her reacting to your sense of humor. See it as a sign that you're tapping into something meaningful. Her laughter is her way of saying, I like being with you. I feel good when I'm near you. I want this feeling to continue. And when you start noticing it consistently, understand that she's probably not just amused, she's attracted. When a woman is deeply attracted to you, one of the most subconscious ways she shows it is through mirroring your behavior. This isn't about copying you on purpose. It's something that happens naturally when someone feels emotionally connected and drawn to another person. Human beings are wired to mirror those they feel close to or want to build a deeper connection with, and women are especially in tune with this subtle form of body language and rapport building. You might not notice it at first, but if you start paying close attention, you'll see it in her posture, her gestures, her tone of voice, and even her choice of words. If you're sitting back in your chair, with one arm resting casually, a woman who is attracted to you might find herself unknowingly mimicking that exact position. If you take a sip of your drink, a few seconds later, she might do the same. It's not premeditated, it's instinctual. It's her body's way of creating harmony and signaling a sense of we're in sync. Even more interesting is how this mirroring can extend to speech patterns and expressions. If you use a certain phrase often or have a unique way of describing things, you might start hearing her use the same expressions. If your energy is calm and laid back, she might naturally match that tone. If you speak passionately and with animated gestures, she might mirror that enthusiasm when talking to you, even if that's not her usual style with others. This behavior is rooted in a desire to build emotional closeness. When a woman mirrors you, she's creating a sense of familiarity and comfort between the two of you. She wants to show that she understands you, that she gets where you're coming from, and that she feels connected. It's almost like she's saying, we're alike, without ever needing to say the words out loud. That unspoken bond builds intimacy without pressure. It keeps the connection light and organic, while signaling deeper interest. It's also a way of showing approval. Mirroring sends the message that she values your presence and enjoys being around you. She's not just listening to you, she's attuning herself to you. She's aligning with your rhythm, your vibe, your flow. And that kind of attention doesn't come from disinterest. It comes from attraction layered with curiosity and emotional investment. You may notice that she starts to align her lifestyle or preferences with yours as well. If you're into a specific hobby or interest, she might take an interest too, not to pretend, but to create more shared experiences and opportunities to connect. For example, if you mention a show you love or a place you like to hang out, and she brings it up later or suggests doing something similar, that's a reflection of her effort to bridge the gap between her world and yours. It's important to distinguish between someone trying too hard to impress versus someone who's genuinely resonating with you. Real mirroring feels natural. It doesn't look forced. It's subtle, almost imperceptible, and usually followed by a warm vibe, soft eye contact, or shared laughter. If you feel like you're flowing easily with someone and your conversations seem to have a rhythm that just works, chances are she's mirroring you and enjoying every second of it. Another layer to this is emotional mirroring. If you share something meaningful or express a feeling, she'll not only listen, but reflect those emotions in her own way. If you talk about a personal struggle and she softens her tone, leans in, or shows genuine empathy, that's emotional alignment. She's tuning in, not just to your words, but to your inner world. That's a clear sign of emotional attraction and depth. What's powerful about mirroring is that it often happens before a woman even realizes she's doing it. It's a primal part of human connection, and it becomes more prominent the stronger the emotional and physical attraction becomes. So when a woman is subtly copying your movements, adopting your mannerisms, and aligning herself with your energy, she's not just being nice or friendly. She's letting her guard down, stepping closer to your frequency, and signaling that you matter to her. Mirroring is one of those things that doesn't need to be spoken or explained. It's felt. It creates a sense of belonging, of ease, of we just get each other. And when a woman consistently mirrors your behavior, Know that it's not by accident. It's a reflection of her inner world matching up with yours, and that's one of the clearest signs she's deeply attracted to you. When a woman is deeply attracted to you, one of the most telling signs is her tendency to find subtle, seemingly innocent reasons to touch you. These moments might feel casual or even coincidental, but more often than not, they are intentional. Touch is a powerful communicator, and women who feel emotionally and physically drawn to someone often express that through physical contact, soft, light, and often brief, but incredibly meaningful. It might be a gentle touch on your arm when she's laughing at something you said, or brushing imaginary lint off your shoulder. Maybe she reaches for your hand briefly when making a point, or her fingers graze yours when you hand her something. On the surface, these gestures seem harmless, but they're rarely random. These are her ways of bridging the physical gap between the two of you without stepping too far or making it too obvious. For many women, touch is a form of emotional expression. It's how they build closeness and test compatibility. So when a woman finds reasons to touch you, she's not just being friendly. She's checking your response. She's feeling out the chemistry. She's asking, without words, "Do you feel this too?" That quick moment where her hand meets yours, or her shoulder brushes against you a second longer than it needs to, that's not just about proximity. It's about connection. You'll also notice that the frequency of these touches increases the more comfortable she becomes around you. As her attraction deepens, so does her willingness to express it physically. She'll move closer during conversations, casually lean into you during shared jokes, or rest her hand lightly on your back while walking beside you. These touches might be fleeting, but they carry weight. They're signals of trust, of interest, of emotional safety. Sometimes it's not just about physical contact. It's about the way she touches you. A soft tap on the knee when you say something funny, a playful shove when you tease her, or a slow, lingering touch when fixing your collar or adjusting your jacket. These are all layered with emotional undertones. She's not doing this with everyone. She's choosing to engage with you in a way that lets her express closeness without having to say too much. It's also important to pay attention to the context. If she's generally not a touchy person with others, but seems to make an exception for you, that's an even clearer sign of attraction. Her body is responding to her feelings, and even if she's not consciously planning each touch, her actions reveal what her words might not. She's drawn to you. She wants to be near you, and touch is her way of communicating that silently. Another thing to look for is how she reacts after the touch. Does she smile, blush, or seem a little nervous afterward? That nervous energy is part of the attraction. It shows she's emotionally invested in the moment. She might laugh a little more, look away shyly, or even apologize playfully, especially if the touch felt more intimate than she intended. That vulnerability is a reflection of the internal tension she feels, which often comes from genuine interest. In group settings, her behavior becomes even more telling. If she consistently touches you and not the others around her, it's no longer just friendly. It's focused. It's specific. It's her way of setting you apart without saying it directly. She might find reasons to stand next to you, lean on your shoulder, or grab your arm when something surprises her. These are all physical cues that she feels safer and more connected with you than with anyone else in the room. Touch also creates a memory. The warmth of her hand, the way she leaned in, the brush of her fingers. These moments linger in your mind, and she knows that. She wants you to remember those moments because they subtly reinforce her presence in your life. They make the interaction more personal, more intimate, and more meaningful. When a woman finds excuses to touch you, she's opening a door to closeness, to chemistry, to unspoken feelings. She may not have the words or the courage to spell it out directly, but her touch tells the story. It's her way of stepping into your space, breaking down walls, and inviting you into hers. When a woman is truly attracted to you, her interest goes far beyond the surface. One of the most powerful yet subtle signs of deep attraction is her genuine curiosity about your life. She wants to know who you are, not just what you do or what you look like, but what drives you, what makes you tick, what your world looks like when no one else is watching. This kind of interest isn't casual. It's personal, thoughtful, and emotionally charged. You'll notice it in the way she asks questions. Not the typical small talk, but questions that dig a little deeper. She doesn't just ask how your day was. She wants to know what made it good or bad. She's interested in how you feel about things, not just what happened. If you mention a project at work, she'll follow up later to see how it went. If you talk about a goal or a dream, she'll remember and bring it up again in another conversation. That memory, that attentiveness, is a sign that you're not just another person in her day. You're someone she's emotionally invested in understanding. Curiosity is a gateway to emotional intimacy. When she asks about your childhood, your past relationships, your family, your fears, and your aspirations, she's not being nosy. She's trying to connect with the version of you that not everyone gets to see. She's hoping to uncover the real you, the man behind the smile, the story behind the eyes. That level of curiosity means she's not content with surface-level interaction. She wants depth. She wants layers. She wants you. You may also notice her asking questions that seem random, but are really about mapping out your personality. She might ask what kind of music you like, what movie made you cry, what food you'd eat every day if you could. It might sound playful on the surface, but underneath, she's learning your emotional responses. She's looking for ways to relate, to bond, to step further into your world. There's also a certain warmth in the way she listens. She's not just hearing you, she's absorbing. Her eyes stay on you. Her body turns toward you. She reacts to what you say, not just with words, but with emotion. That level of engagement is rare. It shows she's not only curious, but also emotionally present. She wants to understand your experience, your lens, your logic, even if it's different from hers. Even the way she remembers things you said weeks ago can reveal how closely she's been paying attention. You might be surprised when she brings up a detail you mentioned once in passing, but to her, it mattered. She stored it because it gave her a glimpse into your world. That memory shows that you're on her mind long after the conversation ends. And it doesn't stop there. If she's truly curious about your life, she'll start asking about the people who are important to you. Your best friends, your family, your mentors. She wants to know who shaped you, who you turn to, who you care about. Why? Because understanding those connections helps her understand you. And when she starts trying to connect with those parts of your life, even indirectly, it's a strong signal that she's trying to find her place in your world too. Her curiosity may even extend into the future. She'll ask about your plans, your long-term goals, your vision for your life. These aren't just idle questions. They're her way of silently wondering, is there space for me in that future? She might not say it, but her questions are opening doors, not just into your past and present, but into the possibility of something more. Sometimes, this curiosity also looks like encouragement. When she's genuinely attracted to you, she wants to see you win. She'll ask about your passions and then support them. She'll push you to go after that dream job, finish that project, or take that leap you've been hesitating on. Her questions aren't just reflective, they're supportive. She wants to be part of your growth, part of your journey. Attraction is often quiet, especially in its early stages, but when a woman's interest in you goes beyond the obvious and into the heart of who you are, understand this. She's not just intrigued, she's connected, and that connection, built through curiosity, can be one of the most authentic and powerful indicators that she sees something real in you. When a woman is deeply attracted to you, her body language often reveals the truth long before her words ever do. Attraction lives in the subtle signals, the unspoken cues that show up when she feels drawn to your presence. One of the most reliable signs is the way her body language begins to open up around you. It's not about flashy gestures or dramatic moves. It's in the small, consistent behaviors that show comfort, trust, and a quiet pull toward you. Open body language starts with how she positions herself in your presence. When a woman is attracted to someone, she instinctively wants to close the distance between them. She'll face you directly, her body turned toward you, feet pointing in your direction, a clear signal that you have her full attention. Even in a room full of people, her body will orient itself toward you. That physical alignment is more than just a posture. It's a form of connection. You'll also notice that she doesn't cross her arms when she's with you. Crossed arms often signal defensiveness or discomfort. But when a woman is at ease and attracted, her body opens up. Her arms are relaxed at her sides, or perhaps resting casually in front of her. Her shoulders are relaxed, her movements unguarded. This kind of openness communicates safety. She doesn't feel the need to shield herself. She feels at ease, even vulnerable, in your presence. And that's a strong emotional indicator. Another key sign is proximity. If she consistently moves closer to you during conversation, or doesn't pull away when you lean in, she's signaling a desire for closeness. She might not even be fully aware she's doing it, but her body is speaking for her. She wants to be near you, to feel your energy, to be in your space. That's not something people do when they're indifferent. That's attraction in motion. Eye contact is another major piece of open body language. When a woman likes you, her gaze lingers just a little longer. She doesn't just glance at you, she looks. There's softness in her eyes, sometimes a hint of shyness, other times bold curiosity. If you catch her looking at you and she smiles or quickly looks away with a slight blush, you're witnessing the internal dance of attraction. And when she maintains eye contact during conversation, especially when things get personal, it shows she's emotionally invested in the moment. Smiling is another powerful indicator. A real, genuine smile reaches the eyes. It's warm, unforced, and often shows up without any obvious reason. If she lights up when you walk into the room or laughs more freely when you're around, she's not just being polite, she's enjoying you. Her body is responding to your presence in a way she might not even fully understand herself. You might also catch her playing with her hair, adjusting her clothing, or lightly touching her face during your conversations. These gestures, often subconscious, are signs of nervous excitement. They're physical manifestations of energy that's focused on you. She's not just trying to look good, she's reacting to how you make her feel. And then there's mirroring. If she's subtly matching your body language, leaning in when you do, resting her hand the way you rest yours, or matching your tone and pace, it's not coincidence. It's her body syncing with yours, seeking harmony. This kind of alignment is one of the strongest unspoken signs of mutual connection. Posture matters too. When a woman is attracted, her posture becomes more attentive. She might sit up straighter when you talk, angle her body toward yours, even when she's seated, or lean in slightly when you share something personal. These are all cues that she's not just hearing you. She's engaged, present, and interested. Even the way she walks or moves around you can shift. If she's walking slower to match your pace, standing closer than necessary, or finding excuses to be physically near you, those are deliberate choices fueled by attraction. It's her way of saying, I feel good here, with you. The most beautiful part of all of this is that it's rarely calculated. Her body language opens up because she feels something. It's spontaneous, it's real, and if you're paying attention, you'll see the signs clearly. The warmth in her smile, the lean of her body, the softness in her eyes. These things don't happen around just anyone. They happen when there's a spark, when something deeper is stirring. When a woman is genuinely attracted to you, one of the most heartfelt and revealing signs is how attentively she remembers the little things you say. These aren't grand declarations or dramatic moments. They're small, passing comments, details you might not even remember sharing, but she does. Because when she's drawn to you, she's not just hearing your words, she's absorbing them, filing them away, and holding on to them. Not because she has to, but because she wants to. You might mention your favorite childhood snack in a casual conversation, and a week later she surprises you with it. Or you talk about a stressful meeting you have coming up, and the morning of, she texts you to wish you luck. These moments are more than sweet gestures. They show that you're on her mind even when you're not around. Her memory becomes a reflection of her emotional investment. The reason she remembers the little things is because she's paying close attention, not just to what you say, but how you say it. She listens between the lines. She notices what lights you up, what frustrates you, what topics you return to without realizing. If you talk about a dream or a goal you have, she brings it up later to check your progress. That's not just interest, it's engagement. She's connected to your journey. Attraction sharpens awareness. When she's into you, she tunes in with intention. She doesn't have to force herself to recall your preferences, your routines, or your pet peeves. They become part of her awareness naturally. If you once mentioned that you love the sound of rain when you sleep, and she sends you a rainy night playlist, she didn't just remember the detail, she acted on it. That's a powerful expression of care and interest. And it's not just about the sweet or romantic things. She also remembers the vulnerable stuff. If you opened up about a difficult time in your life, a family issue, or an insecurity, she doesn't forget. She holds space for that. The next time the topic comes up, she doesn't need a reminder. She already knows, and she responds with empathy, not curiosity. That kind of emotional memory is deeply intimate. It means your words didn't just land, they left an impression. You'll also see this in the way she follows up on seemingly minor things. Maybe you told her you were going to try a new recipe, read a book, or visit a certain place. Days later, she'll ask you how it went. That follow-up is meaningful. It means she didn't just let the moment pass. She stored it because it mattered to you, and because you matter to her. This attention to detail often spills into how she talks about you to others. If she refers to something you mentioned in front of your friends or brings up an inside joke the two of you shared, she's weaving you into her narrative. She's letting you know that your words have a lasting place in her memory. You're not just a passing interaction, you're becoming part of her mental and emotional world. Sometimes she'll remember things you didn't even realize you shared. The way you take your coffee, a favorite shirt you wear often, a song you once hummed under your breath. These details might seem unimportant, but when someone is attracted to you, they look for every thread that connects them to your life. The small things become meaningful. They build familiarity, closeness, and comfort. Her remembering the little things also shows a desire to support you. If she recalls that you don't like early mornings and schedules plans around your routine, or she knows you need quiet time to focus and respects that, she's adjusting her behavior to make space for your needs. That's not just thoughtful, it's loving. So often, people assume attraction is about big gestures, bold moves, and loud declarations. But more often, it's in the quiet moments. When she remembers what you said 3 conversations ago, when she notices the tiny things that make you who you are, and when she brings them back to you with warmth and sincerity, that's real. That's connection. That's a woman who's paying attention because her heart is involved. When a woman is deeply attracted to you, one of the most telling but often hidden signs is the subtle jealousy she feels when you give another woman attention. She might never say it outright. In fact, she'll likely go out of her way to act unbothered, but if you're paying attention, you'll notice the shift. Her energy changes. Her mood softens or sharpens. She suddenly becomes quieter, more sarcastic, or just slightly distant. It's not always dramatic, but it's real, and it's coming from a place of emotional investment. Jealousy doesn't always show up in obvious ways. Sometimes, it's in the questions she asks when you mention another woman. Oh, is she a good friend? Or, you two hang out often? These aren't casual questions. They're her way of gathering information, trying to understand the dynamic without exposing her feelings. She wants to know where she stands, even if she doesn't have the words to ask directly. Other times, her jealousy might show up in small, playful jabs. She might joke about the other woman, call her your new best friend, or tease you about how much time you're spending together. It seems lighthearted, but underneath the surface, there's tension. She's processing emotions she hasn't fully acknowledged yet. This teasing isn't meant to offend, it's her way of expressing concern while pretending not to care too much. In group settings, if you give too much attention to someone else, her body language might shift. She might suddenly become more withdrawn, cross her arms, avoid eye contact, or engage less in the conversation. Alternatively, she might do the opposite, become overly energetic, loud, or flirtatious with others as a way of regaining your attention. This isn't about drama. It's about her trying to recalibrate the connection between you two, especially if she feels it slipping, even just momentarily. There's also a kind of possessiveness in how she talks about you, especially when she senses other women are interested. She might say things like, "You're always too nice to girls," or "I bet they all fall for your charm." These comments are more than playful remarks. They're laced with subtle claims. She doesn't want to admit she's bothered, but she is. She sees you as someone special, and the idea of sharing that attention, even in a platonic way, makes her uncomfortable. You might also notice her trying to re-establish her presence after a moment that sparked her jealousy. She'll compliment you, remind you of something the two of you share, or find a reason to touch your arm or laugh a little louder at your jokes. It's her way of saying, "Don't forget about me." She doesn't want to compete directly, but she wants to reassert her emotional connection with you. The interesting part about jealousy is that it often surfaces before someone fully realizes how deeply they feel. A woman might not have admitted to herself that she's falling for you, but that twinge of jealousy is a clear emotional alarm. It reveals the attachment that's quietly forming, and because she's not ready to voice it, she'll try to cover it with indifference, humor, or even denial. Sometimes, her jealousy isn't about other women at all. It could be about your time, your focus, or your priorities. If she's bothered when you cancel plans, delay a reply, or seem emotionally distant, it's not just frustration, it's fear. Fear of losing the connection, fear that someone else is capturing the parts of you she values most. That kind of emotional response doesn't come from someone who's indifferent. It comes from someone who's deeply drawn to you. And yet, she'll rarely come out and say, "I'm jealous." That would feel too vulnerable, too exposed. Instead, she'll mask it. She'll smile through it, act nonchalant, and convince herself that it's no big deal. But if you look closely, her actions tell a different story. The pause in her voice, the sudden shift in conversation, the half-laugh that doesn't reach her eyes, those are all windows into how she really feels. Attraction is rarely simple, and jealousy, even when unspoken, is one of the rawest, most revealing signs of emotional connection. When a woman gets jealous but tries to hide it, she's not playing games. She's protecting her heart. She's figuring out how much to show, how much to risk. But make no mistake, her reaction is rooted in care, in longing, in the hope that she matters to you as much as you're beginning to matter to her. When a woman is deeply attracted to you, it doesn't always come with grand gestures or direct declarations. More often, it reveals itself in subtle, meaningful ways, through her consistent communication, the way she laughs around you, how she mirrors your behavior or finds reasons to touch you. Her curiosity about your life, her open body language, her ability to recall the smallest details, and even the quiet moments of unspoken jealousy all paint a clear picture of emotional investment. Each of these signs may seem small on their own, but together they reflect a deeper truth. She sees something special in you. Real attraction isn't always loud, but it is always felt. If you're paying attention, her actions will speak far louder than words ever could.